It's a big day for Citroen. The C3 Aircross has just been unveiled, and with me is the global brand CEO of Citroen, talking to me about the C3 Aircross and more, Mr. Thierry Koskas. Thierry, thanks for...
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming.
For speaking to us.
Yes.
Congratulations, a big day today.
Yes.
So just coming straight to the vehicle, it's entering a pretty competitive segment of the market.
Yes.
What are your expectations? How do you intend to stand apart from what is, all the big giants are already competing with you?
So we have great expectations with the new C3 Aircross. We think that can become one of the main competitors in this busy segment, as you said. Particularly, what I would like to highlight is the driving experience is absolutely outstanding with this vehicle. You will see when you can test it. Roominess, comfort is absolutely great. And one of the key features of this vehicle is we offer a 5+2 option, which is unique in the segment.
Right, absolutely. I think your packaging is something that will stand apart. But just looking at the powertrain options, you've not announced it, but clearly you're not there with diesel, which is around 50% of this segment. So, just your thoughts on that. Could that be met with future electrification, because this platform can take that? And clearly, you're not in 50% of this segment at launch.
We want to be at the core of the segment, so we think that with petrol turbo engine we are. It's a great offer. It's also a great engine that is extremely dynamic. We choose not to go into diesel because we can see this technology fading away. So with petrol we are. Now more to come on other possibilities. No reveal today, but more to come.
Right, but clearly this platform, because it's the same platform as the C3, it's compatible and capable of electrification.
Well, you saw what we did on C3. 6 months after the launch of C3, we launched the EC3, which has never been seen in the market, and it's great because we use the same platform to offer different powertrain. No reveal on this one, but there are always possibilities when you are versatile platforms.
So, can you break the record of 6 months on this?
I will not make any comment on that. I'm sorry.
Thought I'd get you there.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Just coming again, overall to the Indian market, you've had, to be honest, a slow start. You've entered with mass market products. Numbers have been pretty low. March was a big jump, very encouraging. So, just your thoughts. Are you happy with these numbers? Because they seem to be almost insignificant compared to where you should be. I know, Citroen has said, they want to have a slow ramp up, but just your thoughts. Or would you have liked a little bit more volume to begin with?
No, we are in line with our expectation. 9,000 C3 sold since the beginning. We should remind that we have 30 dealers. What we wanted is to have a steady growth, but a solid start, ensuring that all the dealers have a great and profitable business. Now, with the arrival of C3 Aircross, we are going to double the number of dealers. Soon, before the end of the year, 100 dealers. So with the addition of this car, obviously you will see the volumes growing. As you said, March was already a very good and very encouraging month. So you will see the volume growing. But I do not want to go fireworks with immediate big volume and so on. I want to have a steady and healthy growth. And this is what we are doing in India.
Right. No, I understand you say you don't want the fireworks. Clearly, one has to see what's happened with other brands which have exited. But at the same time, do you think you've been a little too conservative, especially in your marketing communication? And can we see more noise in that respect being made? Because, Citroen still not a very known brand in this country.
I agree that the awareness of the brand is not so high because we decided to introduce the brand in 2019. So we need to invest on the brand. India is such a big market and such a competitive market that we need to get the brand known by customer. So yes, I commit to be more present in communication. We know also that India is very much word of mouth. So as soon as we have more products on the road, that customers that are proud of their car talk about their car, that will help also to build the awareness. But I agree, and yes, we'll be more present in communication.
Right. And, Thierry, just looking at your electrification strategy in India, I know you're not going to reveal much on that, but clearly an EV derivative of everything you're currently producing. Is this the way to go in India, where ICE, EV derivatives from an ICE is the most pragmatic, most practical way, because you get the economies of scale of ICE, it's quick to market, and the products serve the purpose. And when do you think skateboards will probably come into the Indian market?
Well, we have to be pragmatic, and what we did on C3 is frankly remarkable, because in 6 months we managed to have the electric version. We would never have been able to do it if we had had a dedicated EV platform. And by the way, that's not only an Indian strategy. This is something that we also did in Europe very successfully, introducing electric versions of existing platform. So that's, we think, the way to go so far. Maybe one day we go with a different strategy, no plan on that, but for the time being, really the great idea is to electrify existing platforms. We can do it. We do not change at all the package of the car. It remains with all the characteristics, and it enables us to go time to market very quickly.
Right, and just your thoughts on the pace of electrification in India. It's grown pretty rapidly. I mean, has it taken you by surprise? Do you think there's a lot of scope, and there will be a high proportion of EV sales going forward? And just your thoughts, what are the estimates you feel in terms of EV penetration?
I have the feeling that it could go more quickly than what we think. First of all, because the many usage of cars in India are urban or suburban. And I think that electric cars are very well adapted to the Indian market. We had the opportunity 2 days ago to travel with an EC3. It's frankly a car that stands out in the traffic. And I can feel that electric in India could grow even more quickly than what we think.
At the same time, ICE is also growing in India. It's one of the markets where ICE is also rapidly growing with no end date. Looking at that, ICE death warrant has been signed in Europe, 2030, no more, it's all EV. Strategically, where does India stand from, let's say, Citroen's global ICE plans? You're exporting, from here. You're making engines and gearboxes. But once ICE ends in Europe, will India have a different role, you feel, or a bigger role?
Well, obviously, we think that ICE will last, obviously, longer in India than in Europe, and it will grow, obviously, because the market itself is growing.
No, what I mean is, could it serve other ICE markets as well, which in other parts of the world?
Well, we are already exporting gearbox, so I think India globally for us is not only a big market, but also a great production base with some willingness to export as well, exporting components, but also exporting cars. So yes, that's absolutely an opportunity for us.
And talking about exporting cars, the low cost base we have, because to be honest, in Europe, making a low cost EV has been a challenge. Could India play a role in that? I mean, for potential exports to Europe on the EV side?
Well, as you know, we are already exporting C3 coming from India to some Asian and Africa country. In Europe, it could remain a possibility if we are not able to have the competitive base in Europe. That would remain a possibility. Frankly, after testing the EC3 2 days ago, it's a perfect car. It's a very good product. And yes, there would be this possibility. It's today, there is no plan, no decision on that, but that remains absolutely possible. Meeting the European regulation is not such a big deal, so that could be a possibility.
Right, and just looking at your C5, which obviously is a halo model, small volumes, is there a CKD strategy also for you? Do you think that's one thing, to kind of give get some halo products to build the brand, or will you just be concentrating on, let's say, full-scale manufacturing? Because with C5 Aircross, you launched it, great product to be honest. I really enjoyed it, but very small volumes, obviously, because it's not cost competitive. But CKD as a strategy, is it also one pillar of kind of building the brand in India?
Well, it's for us very important to give the full image of what the brand is capable to do. So obviously we have mass products, C3 Aircross, because they are really at the heart of the market for sure. But we also want to think about the image of the brand. And that's why in our strategy, we started with C5 Aircross, low volume, as you said, but very good for the image. So we could have this type of idea, no precise plan on that, but I want that we give to the Indian customer the possibility to enjoy the full offer of Citroën, and the offer of Citroën is absolutely great. There are many possibilities, and I want to give this opportunity for Indian market.
Right. So right now you're saying there are no plans, but you'd be open to more CKD models if
always listening to what the market would like to.
Right. And last question, Thierry, which obviously is so India specific. To make money in this market, to be profitable, a big challenge, obviously. What does it take? And, is this really the biggest challenge for all, let's say, OEMs? And, you're fighting for a very small pie, or let's say half the market. You've got big major players which have locked out the bulk of it, and then everyone's left scrambling for a few percentage. And everyone who comes in, it's like 1%, 2%, 3%, very hard to go beyond that. So just given these constraints, just your thoughts on what does it take to be profitable in India?
Well, I think that probably India is one of the most competitive markets in the world, if not the most competitive market in the world. So if you succeed in India, you can succeed everywhere else. So I think that 3 points to your question. Number one, Citroën is in India forever, which means that we have a steady strategy and we will stay in this country, obviously. Number two, key point is the right production base, which means to have a very, very high level of localization so that we have the competitive production base. And number three is, when we told about fireworks and so on, is to have a steady growth where we respect the product, we respect the price, we do not go mad on discount and so on. And we ensure that the quality of sales is there, and anything we do is done at the appropriate condition and appropriate pricing. So this is what we need to do to be profitable in India. But I can really tell you that it's a tough market. We are learning a lot from the Indian market, but we want to stay and continue to grow in India.
Right. And, lastly, 2023 obviously is going to be your biggest year. We've already seen that. But any idea of what you're looking at? I know you don't want to talk about numbers, but in terms of growth, obviously you've come into this, you're much more confident with a product, a really critical product right now. So
sure.
How's 2023 looking for you?
Well, when you look at, you can do the math, it's very simple. We are going to multiply the number of dealers by 2, the number of cars by 2, so you can make your calculations.
Well, it's definitely going to be a big number for Citroën.
Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best, and thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.